advice I always give to people that are trying to write is you look at the paper you're trying to write for. If it's the New York Times, if it's the Washington Post, if it's the Hill, whatever it is, Los Angeles Times, you look at their word count. If they only publish op-eds that are 600 words long, don't give them 5,000 words. Don't even give them 700 words. Give them 600 words. You have to follow their direction. And ultimately, what we see when someone like me writes and gets such a response from the Eritrean regime, it shows you that this is their Achilles heel. This is their weak part. They don't want their dirty laundry exposed in the American press, the European press, and so forth. My other advice is when talking to Congress, you should have one point and one point only so that the congressman understands you instead of coming in with a list of 10 or 20 different things. I would also say that if you're going to go into Congress, you don't just say human rights is bad. You have to ask for something. And the reason I say that is if you're going to ask for something, it means that the congressman is going to tell the staffer, you have 2 weeks to answer this. And if the staffer's working on it, then the meeting doesn't go away. But otherwise, the congressman might have 10 meetings a day. Within a week, 70 meetings, your meeting is going to get forgotten. So you always have to ask. And the last point I would make, as regime change nears in Eritrea, there are various different opposition groups. And I take no favorites between them. But when I started in Washington in 1999, there was a young man named Barham Saleh, who was the head of the Patriotic Union of Kurdistan, which was one of the major Iraqi Kurdish parties. There was another Iraqi Kurdish party called the Kurdistan Democratic Party, and they had just fought a civil war. Barham Saleh had a rule. In Washington, D.C., he was not going to talk about inter-Kurdish politics. He wasn't going to go into Congress and complain about other Kurds. The only thing, even if they were his political rivals, the only thing he was going to do was talk about justice for Kurdistan. Because the second you start criticizing others, you get ignored by everyone. So what's got to be understood is Eritrean politics are only for Eritreans. When you're dealing with the Americans, the nationalism.
All right, lovers of freedom, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You're welcome to this YouTube channel. This is the only channel where you get your legit information. Now, straight to the topic. You know all this maga that is happening in Finland? How the Nigerian authorities have been fighting so hard to make sure that Finland authorities, that the Finnish government keep holding Simon Ekpa against its will. Now, Finland, being a country with very high human rights profile, have written to UN. Now, the United Nations have taken over. The United Nations have taken over. What we, the Biafrans, should be praying about is that let this United Nations not be compromised by the Nigerian state, because that is what they keep doing. After the Endsars massacre, the United States, that's the United Nations, promised us that they will fight for the human rights of those individuals or those protesters that were killed by the Nigerian government. Up to now, the records are there. They have not been able to hold Nigerian government accountable for the killings that happened then. So UN now coming over to come and take over this case, UN involving in this particular case, we the Biafran, we keep praying that they don't compromise, Nigerian government don't compromise them. Because Finnish authorities have vowed never to treat Simon Ekpa badly. They have vowed to protect Simon Ekpa. No matter what the Nigerian government have been doing, no matter the secret funding, because the Nigerian government is secretly funding everything that is happening in Finland. They are coming with their bribes. They are coming with different means just for Finland to keep holding Simon Ekpa there, so that they can do their unnecessary activities in Southeast, so that they can kill the unnecessary killings they have been doing in Southeast, bombing innocent homes and markets in Southeast. So that is why they want to hold this man. Because Simon Ekpa and Mazen Nandikalu are the only two individuals that are exposing the activities of the Nigerian state in Biafra land. So they want to shut everybody up. That is what they are doing. Musa, with the help of the state governors and politicians in Southeast, they want to shut everybody up. They are doing the funding, they are doing everything, but they have failed because Finland have vowed to protect Simon Ekpa. He's their own. He fought for them. He contested election in Finland. He was a politician in Finland. That is why all this arrest and everything that is going on seems to be political. Seems to be political because I don't understand why you will arrest somebody over a social media post. What is your evidence? What are you arresting him over for? What is your claim for terrorism? You are claiming that he's a terrorist, that he's gaslighting the terrorism or the bombing the southeast, whereby you are the one that is causing the terrorism in southeast and Biafra land. So what is his offense? What is his offense? You have written to the United Nations, you have written to ICC, you have sent so different evidence. Different evidence for you to make sure that you extradite Simon Ekpa from Finland to Nigeria, which is impossible. Remember when Musa, check back our previous message, our previous broadcast, when Musa was asked, what is keeping, it has taken long, what is keeping Simon Ekpa? He was like, Finland have their way of doing things. The Nigerian government have failed to come up and defend themselves in ICC court. That is the Finnish Central Court. This is a small case. Simon Ekpa will be freed in a few days' time because the Nigerian government are not serious. Why he still held in hostage now is political. It's political because a lot of fundings are happening because Finland officials just got into recession, so they need money. So these political parties now are being funded secretly by the Nigerian state and by the Nigerian government. Now, listen to this video I'm about to share now. They understand what we're talking about. They understand why we, the Biafrans, will keep fighting. We will keep fighting these people so that at the last, we'll have every need to jubilate and rejoice for our freedom. Now, listen.
The adage goes, a liberation is not a walk in the park. So if there is any one of you out there in here in this town hall today who thinks that your freedom will be given to you on a platter, you have not yet started. You will have to fight. And fight, I mean, you would not only fight the zoo government in Nigeria as we are fighting the jungle government in Cameroon, you also fight your own brothers and sisters who have been recruited by the enemy to make sure that you don't reach your destination. You also find your own brothers and sisters, we have done that in Amazonia, who for personal interests would not want to follow the aspiration of the Biafran people. When you come across these challenges, bear in mind that they are learning curves. In every quest for freedom, the nationalists and those who pursue freedom against those who don't want freedom, who want continuous colonization, is in the ratio of 1 to 5. It therefore means that it's only about 1% or less that would stand with you to the finish line. For the Amazonian people, we have seen actors come and go. We have seen movements rise and fall. It is all part of the process. But if the Biafran people, you are fighting for the flag, under the flag, with the flag, and with the people, you will remain standing. If you are fighting not to enable Nigeria government to continuously rule Biafra with impunity, if you are fighting not for your own self-interest, if you are fighting not because you think Biafra will be free tomorrow morning, then this is the revolution for you. We have seen it all. Why Nigeria is scared is not because we are in the diaspora or the people on the ground are agitating. Nigeria and Cameroon are scared because we have picked up arms and we are unapologetic to that. It is our self-right to defend ourselves when we are faced with oppression. It is a universal right to pick up arms to defend yourself if the responsibility to protect by the international community is not invoked. It is your right to exist in freedom, to have dignity as a people, And so let nobody, let no one tell you that you cannot fight. They can incarcerate Nnamdi Kanu. They can incarcerate PM Simon Ekpa. They can incarcerate Dr. Joe Lucas Ayaba. They can incarcerate me tomorrow. But the spirit of freedom is ingrained in our people. So many PM Simon Ekpa will rise. So many Dr. Joe Lucas Ayaba will rise onto the finish line. And as the acting PM has said, we have crossed the ribbon. There is no turning back. All they need from you is to stand firm and know that there are going to be challenges. There are going to be infiltrators even within your own government and within your own movement. But do not budge. Fight for the flag, fight with the flag, fight with the people and for the people of Biafra. That is what has made us to stand the test of time. Let me take you to memory lane. In 2017, 2018, up to 2020, the Ambazonian Governing Council was not the most popular and not even the most liked. But today, our people depend on us because we stood for the people, we stood for the ideas, we knew what we were in for, we had the strategies. And we knew that in order to fight a colonialist, you fight them method for method, ideal for ideal, communication for communication, diplomacy for diplomacy. And today we can see that the stars are well aligned, whereby there is a new government in the United States, whereby our people are both energized and our resolve to be free is unwavering. So I call on all of you to do whatever it takes. Take out your last dime. Support the boys and girls championing your resistance on the ground. Make sure that the enemy knows your resolve and that nothing else will suffice. Because for us, Ambazonia, we will fight to the last man standing. For us, Ambazonia is either we are free or we all die. There is no way Cameroon will ever rule Ambazonia again with one Ambazonian alive. They will do with no Ambazonian alive. That is where we are. It doesn't matter whether they bring in the Chadians, they brought them in, we humble them. In the battlefield, the Chadians ran. They brought in the French, we humble them. Cameroon knew they were going to beat us in 2 weeks. We are talking 8 years. And in a fight where David is unable to be beaten by Goliath, it therefore means David is winning. And I can assure you, we are winning. I can assure you, with the Biafran resistance in the area of Bakassi, Cameroon is also feeling the pinch. I can assure you, with your support in terms of propagating our cause, the human rights abuses of Cameroon and Nigeria, we are winning. Victory is never easy. You have to fight your way. And fight shall Ambazonia, fight shall Biafra till freedom comes. Thank you so much.
Thank you
so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. When you think after holding Dr. Chu Ayuba, that will be it. We proved them wrong. When the Nigerian terrorist state think after kidnapping our leader, Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya, we also proved them wrong. This fight, we will all fight together, and at the end, victory will be us. Let me also welcome our president, our good friend, Mr. Bandurai, President of Eritrea government in Eza. Thank you. Honorable Son. Okay, thank you.
I'm trying to get myself unmute. Primarily, I want to give my warm salute to all of you. Yes, the newly acquired friends of Ambazonian. And I was very proud to work with the Republic of Biafra government in exile. I think I got me good friends. At the initial moment when we heard of the Ambazonian, of the Biafran actually, people thought all the Biafran case was all said and done. A lot of them were not following as it is needed. Some of the work we're doing today, maybe we should have done it 20 years ago, maybe 30 years ago. However, better late than never. Some of the type of fight we were doing, in Eritrea, we have a lot of experience. We fought for 31 years to be free, liberated from Ethiopia. Unfortunately, the people has been betrayed by the leader we trusted, meaning he kind of oppressed the people for the following 34 years. Our name, the nickname we've been given is the North Korea of Africa. And you know what does it mean? For all these years, Eritrea did not have any election. We didn't have any constitution, and gross violation of human rights that is happening in there. After 31 years fight, and we still are fighting for 34 years to eliminate this person that is oppressing the people. From the small population that we are in, majority people running away everywhere, through every corner. All of our youth, they couldn't work, they couldn't go to school, they couldn't create family. So the best deal they have is just flee the nation and go elsewhere. When we have all the means, when we have all the resources, we are not poor. We should have been done a lot better, but we just kept going down and down, and almost the Stone Age, where people are living in the dark. They don't have medication, they don't have enough education, they don't have, I mean, for God's sake, the only one university we had, he shut it down. We had 100 factories. They're all gone. The only thing we have left is the beer company. You know what that means. So this is what we've been going. So as we met with the Biafran, I think we said, yeah, I was very interested to know more about them. At this right moment, even the Eritreans are very interested in knowing further about the Biafran history, and now we're going to add the Ambazonian history in that sense. By becoming together, we all kind of buy a little sense. By coming together, we all can have a story which is bigger. We all now became even to work in the same office, which that means a lot. Our cooperation, our exchanging idea, our giving each other an advice, or even share from our experience, I think a lot can be done. This collaboration between the Biafran and the Ambazonian, I think it's a winning type, because I do follow them. Much things are happening on the ground. This is not 1967-70. This is completely different. What they used to do, blockade, what have you, at this right moment, with the existence of the Ambazonians, a lot of things is happening. I even heard and read a lot where they are even infiltrating, getting inside the Nigerian, and I know what kind of job is getting done. So by being together, I think this is our time, I always said. This is our time for Eritrea. This is the time, I always said. This is our time for Eritrea. This is the time for the Biafran Republic. This is the time for Ambazonians. And other things that I need to tell you, where we said we should have been done 20 years ago. At this right moment, we feel proud we have a lot of friends inside the US government. We started early on. We kind of shook up the government because he's paranoia of the United States. I've been in many meetings where the Congress people were very interested to hear the story of Biafra. They were very familiar and they want to hear more. They want to learn more. So they became very interested. You have a good friends like Dr. Ruben. You have a good friend like Tibor Nagy, which is, I always have a good communication with him. And he talks a lot about it. And we have some friends that are coming in that desk, what we call African desk. So we got friends, we just wisely, not to the point that we become nuisance to them. They know about our story. The only thing they knew, we have to come with our own plans, what sort of program we want to get done, and we flat upfront where we have to tell them what we want to get done. With this Trump administration, a lot of things can come up, even not some new nations may exist. I really truly believe some of those stories I hear in practice, Somaliland, for instance, when it's separate from Somalia, it's about 31 years. But they've been handling their business pretty good when the other center of Somalia was having a lot of problems. Therefore, even up to this last election they had, it was a democratic election. So the whole world is impressed. Many countries went to visit, and now at this right moment, they are really thinking to recognize Somaliland, which means we're going to have another new nation of Africa. Africa can afford for so many, especially if I give you the example of Biafran Republic. You're talking 80 million people. For God's sake, you can't force them to be in a forced marriage. There is no way. There is no happiness. There is no long-term solution for this. The best way is they need to get their divorce. They have to be divorced. And I know the history also, the more I got interested, Amazonians. Yes, the same cause goes up to the point how we became together and how we became betrayed. Therefore, I think if we all need to live, we don't have any ill thinking for Nigeria. We don't have any interest, but we want peaceful change. If they don't want the military act, I think let's discuss in a round table. Let's have pens to sign. Let them to be free. And this is how it needs to get done. At this moment, the same way they used to call us. When we fought them, they gave us a name, we are terrorists, what else? But to us, I always said we were freedom fighters. Because of that, even today, they don't call Amazonians and the Republic of Biafra are terrorists. As far as I'm concerned, they are not terrorists. They are freedom fighters. Because of that, I think it doesn't matter what they say. What we have to do. Some of these leaders, for God's sake, they don't have in their vocabulary the word peace, the word negotiation. Therefore, if it takes to carry arms, we don't have any choice but to carry arms. Therefore, this newly found friendship, this newly found cooperation among ourselves, I think we can only make it bigger, and our story should be told everywhere. And I'm very thankful for this chance, and I'm glad I made it to be part of you guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We are the Biafra Republic of America. In Ezra and its cabinet, we are really pleased with all you're doing, and for you to make it as well to Latin Finland. Thank you. We appreciate you. We are all in this together. Yeah, I remember early this month when we visit Washington, D.C., and we met with some Congress and senators. It was amazing. So our message is penetrating. And with the help of our lobbyists, we appreciate them. They are doing a good job. President Vice President Julius. I know you have some members of your cabinet here and believe they might want to be part of this great occasion. So, with your permission, I can see they are ready to explode, to send a loud message of freedom, a word of hope and encouragement, because with this we will all get to the finish line to encourage one another, and for us to be having something like this more often, because our people, both the Biafran people, the Ambazonia and the Eritrea, they need to see this union getting stronger and stronger, and for us to be working together as well. So should I go ahead and call on the cabinet with you, your entourage?
Yes, please.
Okay. All right. HHS, can you please go ahead and talk to Biafran and Ambazonian and Eritrea people? Thank you.
All hail Biafra.
All hail Biafra.
All hail Biafra.
Biafra.
My vice president has already spoken, but since we are here, I cannot go without saying at least a word. And what I want to tell the people of Biafra, first of all, I am all protocol duly respected. Mr. President of Eritrean government in exile, and the APM of Biafra, it was nice meeting you guys in Washington, D.C. at the inaugural of President Trump. We had very good exchanges. That was wonderful. We had the Arise TV come to interview us, but they had to run away. Who's ever seen where a journalist runs away from interviewing people? So we made them run away. So anyways, the history between Ambazonia and Biafra is inextricably linked. The zoo in Nigeria and the jungle people in La République du Cameroon, they have a history of oppression. And what I want to advise the people of Biafra is do not turn back. The world knows the name Nigeria because of Biafra. If there were no Biafra, the word Nigeria will not be known anywhere. Whether we are talking about the football team or we're talking about the in Nollywood, it is the presence of Biafra, the talents of the Biafran people that has catapulted that country to very great heights. So you cannot let Fulani herdsmen, lord it over really great minds like you. Like the president, the president in exile for Eritrea said, you are 8 million people. That is enormous. That is extremely huge. And you are a very great potential in the entire Gulf of Guinea. My journey to the United States has been incredible. I was a refugee in Biafra land. La République du Cameroon chased us when we stood fighting for freedom, and we were welcomed, very open hands, by families in Enugu and Calabar and many other places in Biafra land. And when I told them my story, they also, talked to us about when, Nigeria was persecuting them, and then they were running into southern Cameroons at the time, and then our parents, great-grandparents gave them, welcomed them and stuff like that. So they said they would reciprocate. So we are one people. Each time I talk to people and I give my name Akose, they say that looks like a Nigerian name or a Biafra name. When I call Akotar, they say that looks like a Biafra name. So we are one people. Our destiny is inextricably linked. We continue to fight together until we reach the promised land.
Yes.
Biafra, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kota. Thank you.
Thank you so
And,
much.
We also have the name is not our. You didn't update the name. You have it as fundraiser.
The Secretary General of the Ambazonian Governing Council.
All right, Secretary General, can you go ahead and talk to the Biafran people and the Ambazonian, also the Eritrea? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. APM. All protocols duly observed. Mr. President of the Eritrean government in exile. Much respect, sir. The Vice President of the Ambazonian Governing Council, fellow Biafrans and fellow Ambazonians and Eritreans who have joined this town hall. It is a great honor for me to speak to these honorable people in here because it takes someone with a mighty heart to be able to engage in a journey that is so difficult and also a journey which has a lot of obstacles that are even known before you set out. And all of us who are engaged in fighting for the liberation and freedom for our people understand the difficulty. And we have decided that the journey that our people have lived through up to this moment must be finished by us. And that the freedom of our people must be achieved in our lifetime. And I believe that the Biafran people, the Eritrean people, and the Ambazonian people understand that if we don't fight this fight today, we will need to fight it another day. We have witnessed in the last week the inauguration of President Trump, and all of us were invited. The Ambazonians, the Biafrans, and the Eritreans were invited to take part. The Americans, to arrive where they are, had a very difficult journey also. They were colonized by the British, and in the days of fighting for their own freedom, in the days of independence, everything was not smooth. There were those who worked with the royal family in Britain, who fought against their own people in order to stop the Americans from getting their independence from Britain. And that is just the path that every liberation takes in order to be able to arrive at the point of destination that we have chosen. Our common destiny is that we have decided that we will finish the fight, and the fight we will finish for our people.